In the new Discovery Plus original true crime series Relentless, documentary filmmaker Christina Fontana tries to help a Missouri family desperately searching for their missing daughter. Christina quickly goes down a rabbit hole of drugs, corruption, organized crime, and possibly murder, realizing she can't trust anyone, including the missing girl's own family. Start your free trial to follow Christina as she spends over a decade of her life searching for the truth. Relentless, now streaming on Discovery Plus, the streaming home of true crime and so much more for just $4.99.
Ever wanted to break out of your cubicle and into a business where you can call the shots? iFix is looking for passionate self-starters interested in a franchise opportunity in the booming electronics repair industry. At iFix, we help reconnect people to the devices that they rely on so that they can get back to what matters most. This is a big responsibility. And from the moment you join our family, our franchisees are provided with the resources and support to bring affordable and convenient electronics repair to your community. Did we mention that with amazing partners like Samsung and Google, iFix franchisees also have access to the highest quality parts and personalized training out there, as well as specialized tools? It's true. And it's also easy to visit ubreakifix.com/franchising and learn more about your big break at your very own iFix.
Put distance between students, even though you might have heard the CDC says 3 feet is all right. Can we get enough Americans vaccinated against COVID to keep a highly contagious variant at bay? We'll hear from the head of the COVID-19 Healthcare Coalition. 9 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Peter King in Orlando. Facebook says it had a massive data breach nearly 2 years ago, but never told millions of users that their information was stolen. The social media company says malicious actors found weaknesses in the platform's tool for syncing contacts. CNET editor-at-large Ian Scher.
Facebook says this leak happened 2 years ago, but that is actually even more concerning. It's another indication that Facebook is not actively alerting us when our information might be compromised, and it goes against a lot of the promises it made to Congress when they were talking to it about the Cambridge Analytica scandal.
The president is expected to take executive action on 2 issues involving firearms tomorrow. Here's CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
Aides say the executive order targets ghost guns, which enthusiasts with the proper know-how and the right equipment can assemble at home without undergoing background checks. The order will also take aim at braces that can stabilize the arm of a person firing a semi-automatic pistol. The White House argues those devices can effectively turn those pistols into short-barreled rifles, which are subject to tighter federal controls.
COVID variants are now apparent in all 50 states. More from CBS's Nikki Batiste.
The 4th surge driven by variants and attacking kids, with 44% of all new COVID cases found in just 5 states. The highest positivity rate, children 12 through 17. And that highly contagious UK variant, now the nation's dominant strain.
Across the country, we are hearing reports of clusters of cases associated with daycare centers and youth sports.
Public health experts say the variants are more transmissible among kids who in the early days of the pandemic were not seen as high risk for infection or serious illness.
Texas officials claim they've gotten tips alleging child neglect and abuse at the San Antonio building that's being used as a detention center for migrant youths. Governor Greg Abbott.
The Biden administration must act now. This facility should shut down immediately. The children should be moved to better staffed and better secured locations.
The country's most competitive colleges have broken a record of sorts.
This year, Ivy League universities accepted a record low number of students because more students applied, 22% more. The reason? No SATs. The pandemic pushed many schools to eliminate standardized tests from their admissions process, which made more students feel more confident to apply. But it may have been harder to get in. With many students accepted in 2020 deferring admission, schools had fewer spots available. Lilia Luciano, CBS News.
On Wall Street, the Dow closed up 16 points while the Nasdaq lost 10. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need certainty in the home buying process with a loan that fits your life, Rocket can.
It's 9:03 on Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. 69 degrees, going down to the upper 40s to lower 50s. Good evening. I'm Michelle Bash. The top local stories we're following this hour. In less than 3 months.
On WTOP.
In less than 3 months, small amounts of marijuana will be legal in Virginia. And it's happening years before it was originally expected to happen. As WTOP's Dick Uliano reports, the General Assembly this afternoon approved Governor Ralph Northam's recommendations on pot.
Driven by Governor Ralph Northam, the Senate followed the House and gave final approval to the plan to legalize possession of an ounce or less in just 3 months. Senator Adam Eben of Alexandria explained the rationale.
The governor's amendments move up the date of legalization of simple possession to this July so that we can get police out of the business of stopping individuals for having small amounts of marijuana.
Senate opponents warned of road safety and said Virginia would regret legalization. Prohibitions include smoking while driving and possession on school grounds. Dick Uliano, WTOP News.
There's another expansion of COVID vaccine eligibility today in Fairfax County.
All remaining groups in Phase 1C can now register for the vaccine. This includes workers in finance, information technology and communication, media, legal services, public safety engineers, remaining public health workers, and also barbers, stylists, and hairdressers. This covers Fairfax County, the cities of Fairfax and Falls Church, and the towns of Clifton, Herndon, and Vienna. But keep in mind that Fairfax County is not participating in the statewide registration system, so you should register on the county's vaccine website. Starting April 18th, all Virginians age 16 and older will be eligible to get the vaccine. Bruce Allen, WTOP News.
Earlier this week, Loudoun and Prince William counties, as well as Alexandria City, also moved into Phase 1C of vaccine eligibility. And we've learned that Arlington County is also entering Phase 1C, that county receiving a surge of supplies from the state. We have the information you need on how to register for a coronavirus vaccination at WTOP.com. Meanwhile, Maryland's governor today visited that state's 2 largest counties where mass vaccination sites, one run by FEMA and one taken over by the state, are now operating.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan celebrated the scale of vaccination efforts in the state.
We've now stuck needles in 3.2 million arms.
At the FEMA-run site in Greenbelt, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks mentioned the site is accessible by Metro.
Today does represent for us another ray of hope for our residents who have yet another place to be vaccinated.
In Germantown, at the mass vaccination site operated first by the county, now by the state, County Executive Mark Elrich thanked the governor and, noting their differences, said,
"There are things we are totally united on, which is people need to get vaccinated."
Kate Ryan, WTOP News.
We've learned that Maryland will get 80,000 fewer doses of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine than it expected to get this week, but the governor says that drop will not affect already scheduled appointments. The Alexandria City school system is going to keep its students at least 6 feet apart through the rest of the school year. The CDC has said that with adequate masking, students could be as close as 3 feet to one another. All other major school systems in Northern Virginia are going with the CDC guidance, but Alexandria City school officials said they're worried that the switch could lead to high levels of quarantining. The Washington Post reports the district will switch to 3 feet between desks during summer school and when classes resume in the fall. Coming up here on WTOP, we'll hear from Dr. Jay Schnitzer. He has concerns about the pace of COVID vaccinations. He leads the COVID-19 Healthcare Coalition. It's 9:07.
My family's lived in our town for 6 generations. So looking out for our neighbors is something that comes naturally to us. So when COVID hit, we did what it took to protect each other. Now vaccines are here, and some folks are easing up a bit, but that's a big mistake. That's because there are these new forms of the virus, and they're spreading quickly. Want to know how to fight them? Just do what you've been doing. Got a mask that fits good and snug? Perfect. Giving your neighbors at least 6 feet of space, avoiding crowds, and not hanging out inside other people's houses? That's all good stuff. And now it's more important than ever. Look, I'll definitely get my vaccine.
In the new Discovery Plus original true crime series Relentless, follow filmmaker Christina Fontana as she helps a family searching for their missing daughter, going down a rabbit hole of drugs, corruption, organized crime, and possibly murder. Relentless, now streaming on Discovery Plus. Start your free trial.